Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Prep Life Podcast. This is your founder and CEO of Glam Girl Bikini, Amy Anger. And today I am joined by two fabulous guests. First of all, my co-host, Lee Marie Hostetter. How are you?
Hi, I'm great.
And our second very special guest today, we have Merica Abbado, IFBB professional. Merica, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes. Okay. So we wanted to chat with you about just your competition history. So let's start with just a little bit about your background first, though. So where are you located? How old are you? Tell us about your family or what you do for a living, all of those things.
I live in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Originally, I'm from Croatia. I came here over 30 years ago in my early 20s.
Okay.
Um, and ever since I'm here in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So that's my home base now.
And do you have family there in LA or are you um
Um, I'm divorced and
okay.
have two grown-up sons. My older son, he lives in Los Angeles. My younger son, he is in military, so he at the moment he is in North Carolina.
Okay.
Um, and I have a boyfriend. We live together for last 16 years, so it's almost like a husband. But yeah, so that's my
Okay.
uh, family um, right
Yeah.
here in Los Angeles.
Yeah. And so how old are your boys and how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
No, not at all. I'm very proud of my age. um, I'm 56. I just turned 56 in September, and my boys are 32 years old. So they are all grown up.
Okay. Yeah, you do not look 56. So if you're watching on YouTube, you would probably agree. Or if you have followed America's journey, when you see her winning all these pro shows, you can hardly believe that she's in the Masters category. So
Thank
tell
you.
us,
Thank you so much.
yeah, yeah. So tell us, how long have you been a pro? When did you earn pro status?
Well, I earned pro status 2017, and my first ever competition was in 2016. So exactly 1 year after stepping for the first time on that stage, I became pro. So pretty quickly,
Yeah.
considering that I mean today bikini division has grown up so much. It's just completely different scene that it used to be in 2016 when I was starting. But yeah, it took me 1 year.
Okay. What show was it that you got your pro status at?
It was nationals, master nationals in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Um,
And at the
yes.
time, were you in the what, 40 plus, 45 plus, or
Actually, I
50?
got two pro cards on that show
Okay.
for 40 plus and 45 plus.
Okay.
Uh, so I was at that time 47. I was 47 years old because I
Awesome.
started my journey, competition journey at 46. Um,
Okay.
so uh,
Fantastic. It's never
just
too
right
late.
timing.
Yeah. So how many pro shows have you actually won then?
Pro
Mm.
shows, the
Yeah.
last pro show I did in Georgia was my 25th.
Okay.
So 25 pro shows. Um, that includes 35 plus, 40 plus, 45 plus, 50 plus,
Uh-huh.
and couple. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. I mean, I compete in a master class from 35 to 55.
I remember watching you at North Americans one year, and I think it was in 2020. And I think you won the 35 plus, the 40 plus, the 45 plus, and maybe the 50 plus. I can't remember, but uh you just swept the whole show. And I was just like, she's just getting all these checks. It was just so amazing.
That was actually, I believe,
For the worlds.
Master
It's
World
yeah, the
Championship.
worlds. Yeah. It
They
was like the
had,
same weekend as North Americans,
yes,
but yeah.
yeah, they had 40 plus and 50 plus. So I won both of them. And
Okay.
I repeated the same thing this year because I competed again this year and I won again 40 plus and 50 plus. So I kind of regained my title from 2020 because in 20, no, was it, yeah, in 2022, actually, it was. So we are not talking about the same show.
Okay. Yeah, I just remember seeing you several times as a pro. It just seemed like you kind of it didn't matter what age category. It was like you were winning all of them. So how many is it 25 total wins or have you placed top
Yes.
five in some
Yeah,
of
no,
those?
that's 25 pro wins.
Wow.
And then they have some second places, not too many,
Yeah,
one or
I
two
know.
third, but basically, yeah, mostly first
25
places,
wins.
which
Yeah,
sounds crazy, but
absolutely.
I used to compete like 5, 6 times a year. And then the last couple of years, I kind of slowed down. This year, I will do only 4 shows. Last year, I did, I think, believe 3 or 4 because I became a little bit more wiser.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you didn't do the Masters Olympia, did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did. Okay. What
Yeah.
did you place at
I
that in
was,
Romania?
excuse me?
In Romania, what did you place at that?
I don't know. I was not top 10, so it
Okay.
was probably I believe 15 or something like this. I didn't place as well as I wanted to. That was a little bit of a disappointment, but that trip was very difficult trip. We kind of it's of course across the world and um, traveling, arriving there, and dehydrating in a during the flight, not having enough time to adjust all of that. It was a little, I came a little bit too hard and too conditioned for what judges want right now, master, not only master, but bikini division to look like. So I'm hoping that next year, which I already qualified for, Master Olympia 2025 in Tokyo, Japan. I'm going to make sure to arrive a little bit earlier, give
Good.
myself a little bit more time, and we'll see. Hopefully, my placing will be much better.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. So, can you tell us a little bit about your trip to Vegas this past weekend at the Olympia and kind of what you did at the booth and then the documentary series that is kind of launching here? Can you tell us, the listeners a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it was amazing, amazing weekend. I was really honored to and grateful to my sponsors, Aging Evolution, to include me in the whole experience. So we were there to promote our documentary called Aging Evolution. It was by Generation Iron, and it's right now available on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. Um, it's a documentary about that is trying to spread a message of fitness, health, and anti-aging. Of course, for older generation, 45 and up. And anyone who is not only professionally involved in the fitness and bodybuilding, but just regular people who want to feel good, feel healthy, be fit and kind of slow down a little bit that whole process of aging, especially for women. I'm very proud to be part of that message because for me it's very important to send this message to women who are over 40 years old, approaching, or they are already in the menopause, thinking that like world is it's over and you can't. It's too late for them to change or to do anything. So with my experience example, I want to show them that it's never too late, and you're never too old to start um, anything. It doesn't need to be professional bodybuilding, but being active, having a fitness as a everyday part of your life, uh, because benefits are just endless. And it's never too late. I started at 46, actually 45. That was the first time that I actually got my gym membership and start going to the gym. So
Wow.
it's never too late. Um, you just need to make that decision and be disciplined and consistent and make fitness into your part of your lifestyle. So that's the message that we are trying to put out there. And documentary is just one movie. It's part of Generation Iron whole, a series of different documentaries on fitness, health, sports, bodybuilding mainly. So
Fantastic.
yes.
Well, Lee, did you have any questions? I've been hogging the conversation.
I have so many burning questions, but one of them you just mentioned, and I wanted to ask that because I actually looked that up and I found out that you didn't even start going to the gym till you were 45, which I think is
Yes.
incredible. My mom is in her mid 70s and she didn't start running. She's a runner. She didn't start running till she was 65. And so I just want to know kind of what was your life like before then? Were you always pretty fit and healthy? And then what made you want to get a gym membership when you were 45? And how did it feel first going into the gym? What would be your advice to women that are in their 40s, have never gone to the gym, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that's great question. And I never had a problem with my weight or I was always I was always fit person just by uh, the way I lived my life. I was always on the move and I had the small kids. I was taking care of them and I was a full-time stay-at-home mom and homemaker. So just um, busy all day, but nothing really, fitness oriented. And I was never an athlete, even in high school. That was never my thing. I never thought that I'm actually an athlete deep down. Was sitting and waiting for the right time to come out. So what happened? I always had a little treadmill at home, and I will go on a treadmill on and off like every woman in the world. A few months before summer, and then I will not go on for a month again, and it was on and off thing,
Mhm.
nothing serious. So in when I was 43 years, I had to have a hysterectomy. So that was the change that kind of started my fitness journey and thinking about doing something more than just uh, taking a walks and treadmill 3 times a week. Um, so I had that surgery when I was 43, and for a couple of years after surgery, I felt perfectly fine. I didn't feel like I needed to do anything to change my lifestyle. But then at about 45, I start experiencing all the symptoms of menopause as like hot flashes and not sleeping and just not feeling myself. So um, I, at that point, realized that I have to do something about that. And besides talking to my doctors about hormones and the hormone bioidentical replacement therapy, I start working out first at home, just doing little home exercises. I will squats, lunges, a little bit dumbbells for my arms, nothing serious. But then when my hot flashes start, happening, that was the point where I wanted to do something more on a regular basis. And that's where I joined the gym. And that kind of led me to start recording my home workout exercises
Mhm.
for my Facebook page. And slowly, that became um, something that was occupying my time. I start having followers on my fitness Facebook page, and all those ladies would ask me questions about exercising, about menopause, and not professional. Um, and I was not a trainer even at that time. I didn't feel comfortable giving them all those advices, even though I knew a lot from research and reading that I did. So I got my personal training license and got my first job at the LA Fitness. And a manager who worked there kind of directed me toward that competition building idea.
Hmm.
Um, she kind of suggested that I should do that because she thought I have a talent.
Mhm.
So I did some research. I had no idea what is at that time. I knew very little about bodybuilding altogether. So I was just curious. I did a little research and saw all those girls in bikinis and posing. And I thought, okay, maybe this is something I could just add to my resume and, for my followers, something fun to do. And just found a local muscle contest a show that I picked. I said, okay, let's go prepare for this one. Gave myself 3 months, and that was it. That was my first experience, and that's how I got into uh, bodybuilding and competing, and that just opened a whole new world for me.
Mhm.
So yeah, not only that I got new, profession just around the time my boys left to college. So I was kind of looking for something new to do anyway. I just lost my identity as a mom, when they
Yeah.
leave. You start wondering, okay, what's my role now? I mean, what I'm
Uh-huh.
going to do. For 20 years, I was mom, and now, and this just happened, organically. And I embraced it. And after the first competition, I just loved it so much that I wanted to do more.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so on a different note, what advice would you have for older like masters competitors on skin health and elasticity? And that's like a big thing with coaching masters competitors. I've noticed, especially, when they've had babies or just as they age. Do you have any tips or advice on maintaining or restoring good skin health and elasticity for on stage?
Well, a lot of people ask me actually that question. I was blessed to have a good skin genetically. I'm from Mediterranean, so we have that olive skin that kind of age well in the first place. And I always took care of my body. I mean, my weight was always the same from time I was, teenager, let's say from my 20s. A little more slender, as a young person, but my weight never fluctuated that much, except in a pregnancy, where I gained 40 pounds with both babies. But I was, pregnant in my early 20s. So at that time, your skin kind of, it's much more or less elastic than if you will have a kids in the late 30s or early 40s. It probably would be a little bit different. But and just taking care of your skin, I love moisturizing. It's very important. I always tell when it comes for face or body, at night you take off your makeup and you exfoliate and you moisturize, and same thing for your body, every day, moisturizing. That helps a lot. I mean, I feel that that's what helped me stay, keep my skin in a shape and condition that is today. And I'm so grateful because, yeah, as you age, that's number one concern for most women. And I find that most of the problems that they have, it's a stretchy skin from weight loss. If you lose a lot of weight very quickly, in your late 30s or 40s, 50s, skin doesn't bounce back as it would when you're a teenager or in your 20s. So um, my advice would be, don't let yourself go. you know, as soon as you get like 10 pounds over your ideal weight, it's like hold it, try to, be preventive, to prevent going overboard. We all love to eat. I love to eat too, but even when I am in off season, uh, and when we eat a little bit more and gain a little bit more weight, I try not to go over 12 pounds from my competition weight, just for that reason, because once you start leaning down for the competition, your skin might not, bounce back and look tight. So just be mindful, if you're older, master bikini competitor, don't go overboard with gaining too much weight in off season.
Mm-hmm.
Moisturize, moisturize, moisturize.
Do you?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Did you have a question, Amy?
Oh, just piggybacking off of that, I was just wondering because
Yeah.
you had mentioned 12 pounds. So how tall are you, just for reference point?
Yeah,
For
I'm
us?
5'7".
Okay, so you're my
And
height.
my
Okay.
competition weight is 130.
Okay,
So,
that's about what I am.
yes. But that's for my body. Everyone is different,
Of
but
course.
that's what works for me. For the last few years, I've been very consistent about having always the same weight at my competition, and always end up being 129, 130,
Uh-huh.
131, you know.
So would you say that you avoided sun exposure too, and used a lot of sunscreen, or have you ever dabbled in like Botox or anything like that? Because I mean, you look so youthful.
Oh, thank you. Well, for sunscreen, I know this is going to sound bad, but I don't use much sunscreen.
Okay.
For the reason that I'm indoor person, I
Uh-huh.
don't go hiking, don't spend too much time outside. And when I am on the beach, then I use just a minimal sunscreen. Of course, I'm very mindful how much exposure, how much, how long I expose my body to sun. Luckily, I have olive skin, so I don't need to stay that long to get a tan. So, yeah, but for people who are outdoorsy and who spend a lot of time, yeah, I would definitely advise using a sunscreen. Uh, all year around.
Yeah.
Well, and that's for Botox. I actually had my first Botox when I was 51 years old. I wanted
51.
to do it for my 50th birthday, but something happened, I don't know, and didn't happen. And then at 51, um, couple of months before I started competition season. I just wanted to look a little bit fresher, so I did a little bit on my forehead, around the eyes, and it was my first experience. Uh, and every year I try to do that before competition. So I don't use it much. I don't like that look. I don't want that to be something that I'm relying on and doing it like some people do, like every 2, 3 months or whatever.
Right.
I do it once a month before competition. And I would advise these young girls that I see they're using Botox in their 20s and 30s that
Mhm.
uh, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think it's better to use other ways like taking care of your skin and doing facials and making sure you moisturize your face because uh, honestly, Botox and all those procedures before you are in your 50s, really, I don't know, I'm questioning that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know, Lee, you were trying to ask a question. Sorry. We were
Oh, you're good. I
curious at the
love
same
it.
time.
I was just gonna ask, I try to ask a fun question every time we interview, and just being from Croatia and or growing up there and then mentioning that you love to eat, you love food, you love cooking. Is there anything that you miss from over there that you can't get over here in the States, or anything that you found that's really authentic that you love to have in the off season?
Actually, I left my country a long, long time ago. I was in my early 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and at the beginning, for probably first 15 years, I had those cravings, and I will miss some traditional meals and some cookies and stuff, that we do for holidays in my country. But then, that goes away. And as I became more American than Croatian, I don't have those, cravings anymore, especially now being competitor, since I start really uh, following a certain diet. Um, at first, it was difficult, when you start competing, you miss the sugar and you might miss all these things that you used to eat and you love to eat. But honestly, last probably 3, 4 years, I don't have any cravings. Used to be
Mhm.
hamburger craving, pizza craving, donuts. Those were my waiting to finish my competition season so I can have a donut and stuff like that. But not anymore. Now I'm like, I guess my body's totally adjusted to this new diet. No
Yeah.
sugar and no crap, no processed food that I real cravings. But of course, every time I have a chance, meaning once I'm finished with my competition, I do like to here and there indulge in sweets and stuff that I don't eat when I'm in the prep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
but
you kind of alluded to your first competition. You did a lot of research. Did you have a coach for your first couple of competitions? And I noticed, I believe you have Neil Cash as your coach,
yes.
Team Cash now. And kind of what's that experience like? And kind of How did you get through the
Well,
journey with different
I,
coaches and
I,
stuff like
I
that?
prepped myself for my first show.
Okay,
And
that's
that
what I
was
was
because
hearing you say.
I didn't even know that there are coaches for that
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
So what I did, I just went online and found some meal plan and followed it. And being having experience in my first competition, I realized backstage that there are coaches, there is all this thing happening. So
Hmm.
I asked one of the girls, and she kind of explained things to me. And that's when I found out that there is a pro level. I was like, wow, what is pro?
Hmm.
So uh, at that point, once I think I placed third, I took a third place in my on my first competition. Once I decided that that's something I want to continue doing, um, I realized I need a coach, and at that time I hired my first coach, and I actually so far I had. Probably four. Yeah, I changed four coaches in the last
Okay.
9 years. Last 2 years, I've been with
Yeah.
Cash,
Yeah.
and I'm very happy with him. We kind of have a good energy chemistry between us, and
Hmm.
it's been really good.
Yeah. So, what advice would you have for somebody that's just starting out? Since, you kind of did this uncoached and things like that, what would you tell your 45-year-old self, maybe to do differently, if anything, if there was anything about the journey that you would have changed and maybe not? I mean, you've had a lot of success. So,
Yeah, I did, and I wouldn't change any of that because every mistake that I made, it kind of made me better competitor. I learned a lot.
hmm.
Um, it was really great journey. But one thing I would definitely do different if I knew better, and that's that I wouldn't compete so often at beginning
Okay.
because I just competed like 6, 7 times a year at beginning, which is crazy. Now looking back, that was so unnecessary. And I didn't at that point really know what I was doing and what's the point of all this bodybuilding. It was just more of, oh, I want more, I want more. So I was just jumping from one competition to another, and I would prep. Usually, and that's something that I keep even today. I prep half of I mean off season half year,
Mhm.
and then half year I'm competing, which is okay. But last couple of years my off season was much longer. I was in off season for almost 10 months, 10, 11 months, 10 months previous year, because if you want to really succeed and progress in this sport, you need to give yourself time to grow.
Yeah.
And of course, muscle takes time to build, which I didn't really know at the beginning of my competition career. It was more of, we'll build for a few months and then I will compete as much as I can. I was focused more on competing than on building. So once I became pro, in an NPC league, amateur league, it was kind of easy because of my genetics. I was able to win a lot without having a lot of muscle. My conditioning was always top notch, and that was scary. And my build, my structure was helping me to win all these shows. But once I became pro, it was completely competing on another level with the girls who've been doing this for many years, who are uh, former athletes, who are working hard already. Uh, uh, Lifting weights for a few years, so they were built. Their muscle was way more than mine when I became pro. And first couple of years in my pro, career, I was not very successful. It took me 3 years to start making the first call outs and winning. So first 2 years, I was always second call out, and I just couldn't break that barrier because I didn't give myself enough time to build muscle. I was thinking, oh, okay, this was enough before. I was just doing the same thing. And it took me a couple of years to figure things out.
Yeah.
So if I could advise somebody who is starting and is novice and is like new to this sport, um, compete a couple of times a year just to kind of gauge and see your progress and to hear from the judges what you need to work on and what you need to change. But don't do what I did, compete 6, 7 times. Because it's really not necessary to, and this sport is very expensive. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. It's very expensive to train and to have all these good food and supplements and coaches and bikinis and all these things and competition itself. If you are competing outside of your local area, you have to travel. It's hotels and airfares and fees that you need to pay. So it's very expensive sport, and you want to be smart. If you want to have longevity in this sport. If you are doing it just for 1 year for fun, and you want to just, you lost the weight and you want to prove something to yourself, that's okay. Then, you can do as many times as you want. But if you want to be professional, if you want to make this into your kind of career, then I would definitely be smarter and kind of more make sure that you have a plan,
Hmm.
or more
Yeah.
strategic about your competing.
Yeah. So what was your feedback at your last show, and what was that last show? I feel like it was recently.
Yeah, last show was one in Dalton, Georgia.
Hmm.
I took first in 50, and I took third in 40 plus. I was hoping to repeat my success from my previous two shows where I won both 40 and 50, but I came a little bit softer just because I arrived to Georgia night before competing. So I almost missed my check-in and tanning. Um, I made mistake when I was planning my trip. So for some reason, I thought that will be like easy connection, but it turned out to be very difficult. And so I was holding a little bit more water and was a little bit more soft in my glutes than previous competitions.
Yeah.
And feedback was just that everything overall, I'm perfect. I just need to come with a tighter tie-ins. So when you compete at this level, every small thing matters,
Hmm.
and you need to come perfect because top three places are basically they're splitting the hair sometime between top three competitors. So I learned my lesson. I have to come 2 days before competition, which I usually do. One day before was not enough. But
Yeah.
when you compete, you learn things. That's the whole process, and it's fun.
Well, we
We
really
all want
appreciate.
to win, but sometimes you need to lose to learn lesson. Mhm.
Yes. Yes, you've given us so many good nuggets, and we would love it if our listeners could let you know how much they appreciated you coming on today and to thank you and maybe tag you on their stories. Where can they find you on Instagram or any other avenues that way?
Well, best way is Instagram, basically. I
Okay.
don't do much social media. I do have a fitness Facebook page, but it's more for my followers from Croatia and that part
Okay.
of the world because I speak in Croatian over there. So
Okay. Okay.
for American uh, people who want to, women who want to follow me or to contact me, Instagram would be the best. It's basically my name, Mary dot, no, it's actually IFBB Pro underscore Mary, MERI dot ABBADO, and you can find me there.
Awesome. And if you would like to tag us on this story as well, you can find us on Instagram at Prep Life Podcast or at Glam Girl Bikini. And I would be remiss if I did not announce our posing seminar that we're going to be hosting on Sunday, October 20th from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time at Beastified Gym in Overland Park. You can check out our Instagram for the posing flyer there, but it will be a free seminar and there will be IFBB Pro and Judge Kim Seeley, as well as myself and other fun people in this community here in the Kansas City area. So thank you so much, Mary, Merica,
Thank you. It
for
was a
coming
truly
on.
pleasure.
Yes, we really appreciate your time and thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.